Hi, welcome to Todd's Tips. I'm Todd Barsness, a full-time voiceover talent, and Todd's Tips is a feature of VO Marketing Pro. Now, if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to voiceover, just visit our Facebook page, website, or contact us via email. The links are located here. We always put the caveats here. Our audio-visual producer, Demond, puts those right there. And what they are there for is for you to be able to look at the fact that I'm not pressuring you to do these things. I'm telling you, these are the things that I do and don't do, but some of them might not be right for you. And so I've provided these caveats for you to be able to say, well, I'm not this, or I'm not that, or I am this, or I'm different than Todd. And that allows you, hopefully, not to just blow them off, these do's and don'ts, but to be able to just be calm, because some of the things that I've been talking about recently can be a little emotionally stirring, to say the least. And I'm coming back for more.
Don't get your dander up.
Yeah, because honestly, some people say, I don't like to call things pet peeves because it's negative, but I don't know what else to call it. It's a pet peeve. And that is, I do, now listen to this. This might shock some of you. Mm-hmm. I do take a cynical, even suspicious view of VO coaches and mentors. I do take a cynical, even suspicious view of VO coaches and mentors. And if you look back a couple of three of these Todd's Tips, do's and don'ts, you'll find that I talked about the fact that I trust my clients paying me. Mm-hmm. Remember that episode? Yeah. Personally, I trust my clients to pay me more than I trust VO coaches and mentors who are out there in the internet trying to be heard and followed. I'm not trying to be shocking. It's just, when I sit down to write these, I just write what I think. I just write what I believe. I just write what I've found out to be true. Well, and that's something that's true.
And you've been in the business for 13 plus years. So
correct.
You've got a fairly good handle on what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, I think so.
That's just to letting you know.
It's my little corner of my little mind. Oh, no. But nevertheless, it is 13 years in the making. So that's just what I think and believe. I trust my clients to pay me more than I trust a lot of the coaches out on the internet, VO coaches. That might seem strange, but it's true. I've never asked my potential clients to sign a contract or put money up front. Never done that. But I have very rarely paid for any coaching. I learn from coaches, but I rarely pay because my default attitude toward VO coaches is that I don't trust them. Sorry. That's just the truth. Disagree if you want. You might have great coaches. You might have a slew of coaches that you work with that you are just enamored with. Or maybe you're a VO coach and you say, hey, wait, I'm a trustworthy person. Well, I just simply don't, out of hand, trust voiceover coaches. There are so many voiceover coaches out there hawking their products and academies, 10 simple steps, etc. It's mind-boggling. Some start coaching their coaching career, right out of the gate, maybe a year or two in, 6 months in. And they couch their coaching in, oh, shucks, I'm just a newbie struggling like you are. I'm just chronicling my journey, but I'll take your money. Others have been coaching so long and so much you wonder, do you have any time for voiceover? How? How do you have time to do voiceover now? So if I pay for coaching, these are the questions that I ask. I would demand this first. You've heard these before, but I'm going to repeat them. First question, how much money do you make in voiceover this year or last year? How much money do you make? Not in demo producing, not in your products, your services, not in your coaching. What do you make in voiceover right now? Can you provide a few current contacts, students' contacts, info, so I can find out how many of them would support that idea and how much money they make? I want to find out how successful are they? Lastly, have you or your students been in voiceover as long as I have? And have you made as much money as I have? It doesn't mean I can't learn from you. It doesn't mean that I'm doing everything right. It just means that I want to know, are you as successful as I am, or are you at least on the upward swing? Can I see that proven to me? I want to know those things. I assume that there are good, sincere, honest, student-centered VO coaches out there. I'm only assuming because with the exception of one coach, I've never hired a coach. With the exception of one coach, I've never hired a coach in my career. Again, I learned from lots of coaches, lots of people, lots of business people in general, lots of VO people. I can learn tons from people, but I just don't pay for it. So just to that point, and I'll give you one more point and then I'll be done. If you want to find out who that coach is that I would pay money to coach with and have paid some money to coach with him, after we sign off, we're going to wait just a few seconds and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you who that coach is. Again, you don't have to feel the same way about the coach that I have. You might feel the same way about your coach that I feel about my coach. But after we get all done here, I'll tell you who that is. I do listen to and watch VO coaches who may be all of the above things, honest, student-centered, people that are sincere, all of the above things. But almost all of them disparage other people in the industry for being selfish or misguided or hurting the industry. And of course, then they sell their selfless, student-centered, industry caretaking products and services. So it makes me kind of glad right now that I haven't joined their ranks, at least for now. I haven't joined the ranks of coaching, and I'm going to just not hang out my shingle too quickly. I know I've been doing it for 13 years, and I think I have something to offer, but I'm just going to be patient because I just don't want to join too early to the coaching ranks just because there's so many voices out there. So
I was going to just...
Yeah, please do.
You had those 3 points that you said that how much the questions you had to ask different. And I think there's a couple things that I have a problem with when talking about, like from watching other coaches and stuff like that, is when they say, well, it doesn't matter how much money I make. You shouldn't, that's none of your business. And they say, well, the people who are telling their numbers are gloating.
Correct.
They're being in your face and stuff like that. And you and I, other people who do that, that's not the point. And I think I get tired of people saying that, oh, you're just doing that. Well, then show us your numbers. If if you're making that much money, you're not gloating. You're just telling people, hey, this is how much money I make. You can do with what you want with that. But if there's somebody that's sitting there making $30,000 a year and they're saying, well, I don't really want to give out what I make, that might be a red flag. To me, that's a red flag because I don't want to. That's what you're saying. There was another. What was the second one?
Well, to that point, transparency and accountability. That's what I want from VO coaches. And unless I spend money with you and choose my career path, then I'm not going to know how successful I can be or how successful you've made other people, including yourself, unless you share not who you've worked with, or not that you made some money 10 years ago. I want to know what you've made in the last year or so.
To me, it shows that, hey, that doesn't matter. How much I make doesn't matter. You're gloating about it. And then someone were to say, well, if it doesn't matter, then how much do you make? Well, if they don't give it, then then intrinsically or whatever, they know that it matters. Right. Because they're not willing to give it. Because then it might either out them or whatever. And that's what I don't like. I like people being honest. Hey, I make this. Wow. You make that much money? I should probably listen to you because that's no accident. Rather than, oh, you make that much money? Maybe I should think about who I'm listening to because maybe your ceiling, maybe I have a higher ceiling than you. And
that's the only reason I do it is for transparency and
Mm-hmm.
accountability, because who are you going to trust? Mm-hmm. Who are you going to trust? And that's why I don't want to coach. I don't want to coach for money right now because I want people to say, oh, he's not saying, I'll coach you. I really have your best interest. And even I make this much money. I make tons of money. Oh, can I sell you my coaching? I don't, and my products? I don't want to do that yet. It's not saying I'm never going to do it. I might do it. I said, I think last year, I said, I might do it this next year, 2023, but I'm still not ready to pull the trigger.
What was that second?
The second thing was, that second point was, can you provide a few current students to contact so I can find out how much money they're making?
That's the same. That was kind of my same point there, I guess, is well, that's none of your business. Then why are you afraid? If you've helped push people up and have them, the coach you'll talk about after this, he'd be able to send people like you, multiple people that maybe haven't made them as much as you have, but people who have made good money.
Yeah.
Like anyway, those are just things that when they say it doesn't matter, and then
you're asking people a lot. You're asking them not only for their money, but also for the direction of their life for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. And that might be their only shot they get. I mean, some people, I just use you an example. We don't want to go on and on here, but some people might not be as fortunate as you are, because right now you don't have a wife and children and lots of bills. So you don't have to make necessarily. You can work on pushing that boulder up the hill maybe slower, but somebody else might have wife and children or a partner or whatever, spouse, and a mortgage and all sorts of things like that. And for a coach to come in and say, trust me, I've made a lot of people successful. I'm successful, but you can't know what I've made recently. You can't know what the other students make. Well, it's like, okay, so I've got to trust you with my hard-earned money and the time and energy and expense the time and energy of going in a direction for months or years, maybe, even just to find out, oh, yeah, I guess they were successful, or this didn't work. Sorry.
Anyway. Thanks. I just wanted to cover that. Sometimes I don't say a lot in these videos.
Yeah, well,
those are things that I'm picking up as I go through. Obviously, getting the lens from you a little bit, but also seeing things on my own. I just don't like that.
Well, and we're doing an experiment right in front of you, because Hudson is almost 2 years in, and we're charting his path. Is he able to do some of the same things I was able to do? I make this amount of money, he makes this, and we just want to chronicle that so that you're able to see that, so there's transparency. So that's all I've got for you. We can close out, and if people want to hang on, they can hang on. They probably know who I'm going to talk about, but
sure, yeah. Well, let's get to that then once we pause.
So that's our Todd's tips, and we've got our numbers
next. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Just was so excited about the next thing. Check out the Original Father Son Voiceover Podcast, episode 48 on Wednesday.
Okay, so now you can turn it off if you want, if you're still with us, or you can hang on. Again, I think it's no surprise. I have paid money and have followed Bill DeWeese for almost 13 years now. And I found him to be very practical, common sense, horse sense. I also found him to be very open and honest about what he makes. In fact, he even sent me last year what he made. And he's been talking about that on his live stream and his YouTube videos, that since COVID, things have gone backwards, not good, not in a good direction. And so he's been very honest. I think one year he made $350,000 in voiceover, not coaching, in voiceover. Yeah. And he has an MBA in business. He's coached. He's
been in the business,
world.
Years,
He's been in the voiceover business, but he was also in business and radio and as a program director and such. And so there's a lot of common sense, horse sense, knowledge and information from a guy that's not only been around voiceover for almost 20 years, but also been in life for some 60 some years. And again, I'm not hawking him that you should check him out, but I know you can ask him about his money. I know you can ask him about
his students, how much they've made, stuff like
you
that.
And here I am, I'm one of them. So you can contact me if you want. There's several others I could point to that I know make over $100,000 that have either followed Bill or paid for his services. And it's not everybody, of course not. He's had hundreds and hundreds of students. And in coach's defense, the student has to put in their time and effort too. They can't just say, well, I'm going to sit back and eat grapes and bonbons on a couch, and you just give me the secret sauce and I'm going to go to it. That's not what Bill says. It's a long haul. It's putting your time in. It's a marathon he talks about, but they're solid business principles and also basically everything else. They got a lot of coaching. What's his?
Bill, so it's BillDeWeeseLive.com. No uppercases, anything like that.
If this is the first time you've heard of Bill, then when you contact him, tell him Todd Barsness sent you, Hudson Barsness sent you, the Original Father Son Voiceover Podcast sent you, VO Marketing Pro, which is a direct email marketing company that my boys and I run. Tell him that we sent you, and we'll make sure that you get well taken care of. So there you have it. There's your little commercial. That's the one coach. Again, I'm not saying that there aren't coaches out there. I just haven't found any.
He's got the best track record.
I haven't been searching, to be honest with you. So
he wasn't voted #1 coach in all of
trusted
voiceover.
coach, yep.
Voices.com
Yep,
in 2020.
right.
So
So
anyway,
there you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah.
So we'll be on to our numbers next. So join us for that.
Thanks a lot for joining me for Todd's Tips. And if you'd like more information about VO Marketing Pro or anything else related to VO, the links are listed here.